Hey, and welcome to the Bag Chatter Podcast. I'm your host, Bryan, joined, as always, by the better-looking half of this operation. Adam, how are you today?
That felt sarcastic. I don't know. There was just a tone to it. It's not what you said, it's how you said it. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. I don't know. Your face is a little flush right now. It's a little red, but in a good way. And it's it's rosy.
I had a drink with dinner, but I've been driving all evening. I've only had one drink, so I don't know what you're insinuating. It seems like you're saying something. But...
Man, I just can't give you a compliment without you looking for some ulterior motive.
Oh yeah, the classic rosy-faced compliment. Yeah, every guy wants to hear that from their guy friend.
It's a callback. Remember in your old house when you hated the way your complexion looked on camera? I was saying it's like an upgrade. It's better.
Mm-hmm. No, none of this worked. Let's start over.
Can I ask you about driving? When you drive, are you driving Uber? Are you driving Uber Eats?
It's Uber Eats. It's Uber Eats.
Exclusively Uber Eats.
Right. And most of the successful people they either drive DoorDash or Uber Eats. That's just how you know you've made it. You've made it. But yeah, so I spent about 4, maybe 5 hours actually, maybe a little more, just doing deliveries tonight. And so yeah, that's where I've been. That's why I almost missed this recording session.
Does that time fly by because you're like listening to stuff, or is it a grind?
I listen to tons of stuff and I love it.
Yeah.
And so I don't love being out because I just want to be with the kids and stuff like that.
Right.
But at the same time, I actually love the bulk listening time. So yeah. I do value it for sure. So I listened to Donald Trump on the Theo Von podcast tonight.
I saw a clip of that today. Yeah.
That was super interesting. I actually restarted. This is a little dumb. It's one of those dumb things where there's better things to do, but it's comfort listening. I restarted 11/22/63 listened to a couple hours of that, and I really enjoyed it. I hate that I listen. Like I think I've listened to it twice, and it's like 30 hours long. So it's not really something to listen to 3 times, but here we are.
You've come to the end of all the podcasts and you're re-listening to a very long Stephen King book for the 3rd time.
It's so good. I mean, listen, sorry you don't have passions, Bryan. No.
Okay.
I love that book. It's comfort listening. I don't think I'm going to listen to the whole thing, but just like getting into that world for a minute actually felt great.
Last question about the driving.
Sure.
Other than the tips, what makes for like a good night, or what makes for like a bad night? Like, are there certain restaurants you hate going to? Are there people that can be rude? Like,
there are restaurants I avoid aggressively. I really? Will not take their orders.
Oh, wow.
We recently moved from Westchester, Pennsylvania, but the Westchester McDonald's was a no-go. Didn't matter. They could be like, hey, it's a $30 order. I don't care. I'm not going there.
Been burned too many times.
I've been burned too many times, and it's rough. It's rough. They're always late. You have to go in, and they have like this window inside, so it's like almost like a drive-through window inside just for this. And you have to hit this bell that sets off this very annoying alarm, and you can tell the employees are so angry every single time you hit it. And they will not accept the name. Every other restaurant, you say, "Hi, I'm here for, Brian A. I'm picking up for Brian A."
Yeah.
They're like, "What are the last 4 of the confirmation number?"
Oh, wow.
And it's just like, no, thank you. No, thank you. I just reject that McDonald's out of hand. And then there are a couple places. So like in Westchester, I started to learn the addresses of the dormitories at Westchester University. Do not deliver to them. Do not deliver to them. It is impossible. It is impossible to find them. They do not tip well. It is not fun. Don't do it. Don't do it. So if you're an Uber driver in the greater Westchester, Pennsylvania area, and you get something, that looks like it might be a dormitory, just don't do it. Just don't do it.
This is exactly what I came here for. This is gold. Speaking of gold, today we're going to be talking about a 3-day golf weekend we recently had. The Honeybrook Club Championship, followed by the Lanco Open. Do you remember these golf events?
I don't remember golf. I don't know what you're talking about. No, they were there were ups, there were downs, there were sideways.
There were some sideways,
Yeah.
for sure. This episode is the last of our 4-part Rumswinga series.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to say thank you once again to Tony Hayden and Expert Tree Service and Science for making some of these possible. This episode is going live on the last Thursday in August. And then 2 days later, we are actually going to be teeing it up with Tony himself at Honeybrook.
Holy cow. What? I mean, how good is that? The timing of that. I should mention, I played a bonus Rumswinga event.
Ooh.
I played the Lanco Mid-Am, not included in our Rumswinga swing, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
And so I am writing and will be producing an episode just on that soon. So we're going to get a bonus, and that's fully in the Tony Hayden Rumswinga series.
Okay.
So just an absolute. We're delivering 20% over expectation. So yeah. I mean, Tony's. I mean, I imagine he's very grateful, just incredibly grateful to us.
Yeah, I was going to follow up with that, but it sounds like you're being pretty clear. This is, in terms of canon, this is going to be a part of Rumswinga.
Oh, Rumswinga canon for sure.
What do you think when it's all said and done? When Tony's sitting out on his back deck on a cold Minnesota night on New Year's Eve, and he's remembering this year and remembering being the sponsor of the Rumswinga Tour. Do you think he's going to have fond memories of it? Do you think he's going to feel like it was worth it? Or is he going to look back at one of his biggest regrets?
I imagine that, Tony has a few pride and joys in his life, probably children, perhaps, a successful business that he's running in the greater Minnesota area. And then right after that, I would have to imagine is the Rumswinga series. I mean, I think it would be a bronze medal at the Olympics. I don't think it's winning the gold in his just absolute prides, but it's on the podium, I would imagine, right?
Yeah, I mean, good job by us. We podiumed in Tony's life.
Yeah, I think so. He told us that, right? I'm not just pulling this out of thin air, right?
No, I mean, I'm just assuming he's going to tell us this when we tee it up with him
right,
in 2 days. Unless his pride rests on whether or not we played well during the Rumswinga events.
Oh, well, that's a whole different story. Okay.
Whether or not we finished strong in the Rumswinga series, whether or not, speaking of podiums, either of us got onto the podium at the Honeybrook Club Championship. Let's go to the golf and find out. So let's start with this. The forecast for the club championship at Honeybrook, while not a total washout, was not ideal. Very strong hit-or-miss storms were predicted for both afternoons of the 2-day event, and with tee times not starting until noon because of public morning play, we went into round 1 knowing there was a decent chance we would not be playing 18 holes. Adam and I would tee off just one group apart that Saturday near the back end of the block of tee times. Around the time I made the turn, the skies were getting dark. 15 minutes later, as I approached 11 green, it was clear we were about to get dumped on. It looked like the nothing from the Neverending Story was approaching from the west, and Falcor was nowhere in sight. Right after I hit my drive on 12, the horn blew. We marked our balls and spent an hour in the clubhouse waiting for instructions before eventually being told that we'd all be coming back early in the morning to finish round 1. Then we'd repair and play round 2 that afternoon. As Adam and I drove home, we updated each other on our rounds.
Adam,
It is day one of a 3-day golf fest. 2 days of club championship. Then we got the Lanco Open. I don't know if you can hear the patter of the rain on the windshield as I drive home. An unfortunate, shortened day one here at the club championship. But we'll be coming back in the morning to finish. More on that in a second. Let me give you a quick recap of how my day went today. It went pretty good. Unfortunately, it ended on a bad note, but I played really solid golf today. I was proud of the way I played. Only got in 11 holes before the rain came. But on the front 9, I had good birdie looks on 1. No, not 1. 1 I had like 20 feet for birdie, but that wasn't a good look. I had good birdie looks on 2, on 6, and on 9. And when I say good, I mean, 6 to 12 feet, 8 to 12 feet. I burned edges on all 3 of them, which was a bummer. Especially 5. On hole 5, I was kind of behind some trees on my drive, and I knew the 7-iron I needed to hit was going to get high enough, but I had to go right over the trees. I did. I hit probably my shot of the day to about 6 feet. A little bit of a downhill, moving right putt, and I'm telling you, 4 feet from the hole, I was worried it was going to miss left, and then it just broke across the face of the hole and missed low. That was like a lip out, so that sucked. I had 3 bogeys on the front. I bogeyed the 2 par 3s. I also bogeyed 7, which that's probably the bogey that hurt the most. It was on the front of the green in 2 with 40 feet up the hill and just completely misread it. Thought it was going to move a little left and moved right, and I missed the 6-footer for par. But I turned a 3 over 38 in the club championship. That's fine. I mean, that's some pretty good golf for me. I made a par on 10, and on 11 I got kind of a bad break. I hit my drive in the fairway bunker, which, that's my fault for doing it. But the bunker was half filled with water, so I had to pull it out of the puddle to like this little 4-foot strip of sand behind the puddle. In hindsight, I probably should not have dropped there because my left foot was still kind of in mud and I didn't realize it. And I took my swing from the fairway bunker, my foot just kind of slipped / went into the mud. I almost missed the ball. I stayed in the bunker. And then my next bunker shot out, I went into a greenside bunker. Long story short, made double. So, and then I hit a good drive on 12 in the horn blue. So that's where I'm at. I'm at +5 through 11, which, I'm not saying I would have signed up for that at the beginning of the round, because I probably wouldn't have. +3 through 10, I probably would have signed up for, but here we are. +5 through 11, playing pretty good golf for me. Just didn't have the birdie putts fall, and had that kind of one bad break in the wet bunker. How's it going for you?
Bryan, I'm glad you are proud of the way you played today. And I think you should be. That sounds like a ridiculous break on 11. Just, if we're moving the balls in the bunkers and you're still in a bad spot, that's not good. I don't like that for anybody. I'm not proud of the way I played today. So I was in the group behind you. I got through 11 holes just from the get. I don't know how to describe this. I've been playing in much bigger tournaments than the club championship. I just had some nerves. I really did. And I hate to admit that. I hit the ball good on the driving range. I hit it well, I should say. I didn't hit it good, I hit it well. And I just got out there and I was just nervy. I was not swinging free. But I kind of pieced together, ridiculous pars through the first 3 to be even through 3, but I blew my drive right on 1, topped my drive on 2, still made par, then made a normal par on 3, bogeyed 4, maybe the hole I birdied on the course the most. I bogeyed it. I hit a good drive that was kind of behind a tree, decided to try to rope hook a 2-iron to try to get it up into position, topped it, was frustrated, grabbed a hybrid, topped the hybrid, and then made bogey. And I putted okay for most of it, but then, so I'd made a number of solid up and downs because I just wasn't hitting the ball that well, but then missed a 4-footer for par on 9 to turn at 39, left a par putt on 10, 1 revolution short to go to 5 over, and then just missed. I mean, I can't tell you how close my birdie putt came to going in on 11, but made par. And it's just like, so I'm 5 over through 11 as well. We're both 5 under through, or 5 over through 11, and I'm pretty miserable about it, if I'm being honest with you. But I feel like I caught a break with this rain. I was just not in a good physical, mental space. So the fact that, hey, we're coming into a scoring section of the golf course that I've shot under par through so many times in the last couple of years. So I'm coming out on 12 tomorrow. I need to go birdie 12, get it to 4 over, and fight for the last 6, and try to get it back into the realm of thought. You know, that's all I need. I need to go into the final 18 tomorrow. If I could shoot 2 under for those 7 holes, which again, those are the 7 holes I've shot 2 under on the most in my life, probably. So I just need to go do that, get it back to a 73, 74, and have something to fight for in round 2. So yeah, I feel like I caught a break. I don't know how you feel about the timing of the stoppage for you, but for me, I'm glad that I get to go home, think about it, come back with a new mentality tomorrow morning. Try to make some ham. Let's make those ham on holes 12 through 18, and then see what round 2 holds.
Top of the morning to you, Adam. 6:55 a.m. I'm headed to the course for the conclusion of round 1 of the club championship, I assume, and hope that you are too. It is, it's overcast, and I don't think it's supposed to storm again till the afternoon, but it's not sunny like I thought it would be. You asked if I was happy about the restart, because it sounds like you definitely were. There's pros and cons for me, but I'm going to say overall, I wish we could have finished yesterday. I had found a pretty good mental place yesterday, pretty much the whole round, of not playing with too much tension, but also able to be pretty focused, and it's why for 10 holes at least I played some pretty good golf. You know, as I talked about before, that 11th hole, I'm still not sure about the drop that I took. I don't know if I had a better legal option for it, and I guess that's the only reason why I'm maybe happy that we had a reset, because we got to 12T and I was still thinking about 10 minutes earlier when I took that drop, and it was just like my left foot was kind of still in mud, and I don't know if I had to do that. I'm still curious, actually, and I'll probably try to get an answer on that. I was definitely still thinking about it on 12, and I don't think that was a good thing. So I'm kind of over it now. I'm still curious, but I'm over it. And so I think I can find that same headspace I was in yesterday. My swing was in good shape yesterday, so I'll try to get loose here this morning. Hopefully I can get in that same spot as well. 25 holes today. 25 holes today. 7 in the morning, then probably a 4-hour break, and come back for another 18. I hope I can keep it going and maybe play even better, and I hope you can find something today.
Not only am I on the way to the course, Bryan, I've been here since 6:30. I'm grinding. It's grind time. I feel good. I feel better today. I think it's going to go well. I think this was the best thing that could have happened. I have no more thoughts. That's it.
By 7:30 a.m., we were all back out on the course, ready to resume round 1. Adam and I were both 5 over, which we had learned the night before meant we were already 10 shots off the lead, as Brady Manning, a rising sophomore at Millersville University, was 5 under with a handful of holes left in his first round. Right on his heels was Jake Rotelli, a junior at Lancaster Bible College who was 3 under, and defending champ Matt Perino, who was right around even par. It took a little over 2 hours for us to finish our rounds, and on the way home, we again caught up with each other on how things went. Adam, my round 1 is complete. I'm driving home to take a shower. I'm gonna go see my granddaughter, and then I'll be back for round 2 in a few hours. But, story of my round 1, I'm not feeling great. I feel good about 16 holes that I played. And then I had sort of the bad break on 11 right before the horn blew yesterday, which, by the way, I did confirm that what I did in my drop, it was the only option, apparently. I couldn't move closer to the hole, taking it out of that puddle. And it was a pretty big puddle. I mean, it was like almost half the bunker, a third of the bunker, but I couldn't move closer to the hole, and I also couldn't take it out of the bunker. And so that little 4 feet strip behind the puddle that was just barely big enough for me to build a stance, even though I was in mud, apparently that was my only option. So at least I feel like I wasn't an idiot and missed a better option. So I had that, that bad break for double. But I came out today, par 12, bogeyed 13, hit a great hybrid off the tee on 14, made par. And then we get to 15, which you were in the group behind me. So I think you saw that I was in dire straits. And it was mostly my own doing. No. It was all my own doing. There was one unfortunate thing that happened that I'll get to in a second, but I pulled the same hybrid that I smoked off 14T and just made a scared swing and blocked it to the right. It clipped one of those overhanging trees and fell down probably only 125 yards, 100 yards off the tee box, right underneath the fence. So in play, and I do get free relief from that. So I take my drop. In the meantime, my playing partner, Ryan, who, man, great guy. I'd play with him anytime. Like, knows golf, pretty good golfer, fun hang. His first drive, we see it trickle over the cart path, and it's like, that's probably not going to be in, but maybe. So he hits a provisional. The provisional, he smokes OB, and we're like almost sure that that's out of bounds. He chooses not to hit another provisional. He drives up. We're looking for either of the balls where we think they're going to be. We don't find either of them. So he's like, I guess I got to go back. So he goes back. You were obviously at the tee box at that point. He hits a good one into the fairway. Then he hits that second one with the 3-wood, hits a good 3-wood. When he can't find either of his first 2 drives, he's like, I got to go back and hit. At that point, I had pulled hybrid out of my bag. I took my drop from the fence. I had pulled hybrid, and I'm like, man, this is like a hero shot almost here. I'm gonna have to like hit some kind of a crazy cut off of a hook lie. And as I'm looking at the shot, he's like, I got to go back and hit another ball. And I'm like, okay. And he takes the cart and takes off. And so at that point, I'm like, well, I guess I'm hitting this hybrid. And that's where I wish I would have paused and just punched a 6-iron into play and played the hole like a par 4 from there. But I was like, I guess I'm just gonna, and that's just, things start moving a little quick and you don't make a sound decision. And then I compounded that with a terrible swing, trying to hit a cut off a hook lie. It went off the toe of my hybrid, directly out of bounds. So I had to drop. Long story short, I missed an 8-footer for an 8. So I had to tap in for a 9, a quadruple bogey. Really stung the nostrils. And then I finished fine. Parred 16, bogeyed 17, parred 18. Overall, I had 5 makeable birdie putts. Didn't hit a single one. They all burned the edges. I don't think I left any of them short, honestly. I think they just all burned edges. So I came in 38, 43 with the 9 for an 81. I wish I felt better about playing 16 solid holes, but the tale as old as time. If I just bogey 15, I shoot a 78, which I love to shoot 78 in a club championship. But it was an 81, and it is what it is, and I've already spoken too much about this boring story. So please tell me how the rest of your round 1 went.
You said you'd love to shoot a 78 in a club championship? Well, you're looking at a man who shot a 78 in a club championship. Not happy at all. I was 5 over coming out, just like you. I birdied 12 right off the bat. Felt great. So I get it back to 4 over and then just pulled one left. Miracle that it was still up on 13. Just left my par putt on the lip. So made bogey there to go back to 5, then put one in the creek and made double on 14. Then, as you were having your debacle, I saw that you were struggling. I did not realize you'd towed one out of bounds before going to the next one. Because the next one wasn't that far up either. So I was like, oh, I thought you made double. I didn't realize you made 9. I'm sorry about that. But wow, we waited a long time on that tee. Holy cow. It felt like 25 minutes. I'm sure it wasn't 25 minutes, but wow, it was. There was so much going on in front of us. And so, I mean, I'm sorry that was your struggle that you were going through. Put one in the front bunker on, so I parred that hole, parred 15, parred 16, parred 17. Then I hit a drive on 18. I sprayed it right a little bit, but I've sprayed it right 1,000 times in my life. I guess it caught that tree up on the hill, fell directly behind the tree on the hill to the right, like 180 yards from the hole. I had to just like punch out and saved bogey to shoot 78. I am trash, Bryan. I am a trash golfer. And the fact that I shot 70, 68 leading into this makes me more of a trash golfer. I just apparently don't have a clutch bone in my body. I can't even keep it respectable. It's gross. And I hate everything.
Adam, don't talk about yourself like that. Don't talk about my friend Adam. Foul, crass, harsh language. Now, I don't know what to tell you. Obviously, low scores were out there today. It was ball in hand. Yeah, I'm sorry that you had to wait 25 minutes on the tee box. Yeah, it's like the lesson I'm trying to take going forward from that is like, I don't know, maybe this isn't good process, but I'm like, just if you're contemplating a shot like that, being like, wait, is this a shot that I might regret trying? There was no reason to do that. It's such a stupid decision. Like, why do we do that as golfers sometimes? Like, if I was playing with Hudson and he was like, here's what I'm gonna do, I'd be like, no, why? That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. And I'd love to say that if Ryan would have kept the cart there, I would have 100% switched clubs, but I can't even say that for sure. So I just got to get better. I got to get better at decisions. I mean, at the end of the day, the difference between a 78 and an 81 or 79 and 81 is really not that big of a deal. I'm going to try to take away how proud I am on the other 16 holes. Quick tag to that story, which is pretty interesting. Ryan goes back, hits his third tee shot, hits a good one, hits that 3-wood on that third ball. We drive up to almost the end of the cart path, and what is sitting there in the grass right under the fence but his first ball? A Titleist 4 black dot with his marking on it or whatever. We're like, hey, this is good, right? You're fine playing the provisional until you get past the point. Like, if you go past your original ball, then you've abandoned it. I know that that's a part of the rule, and that's what we talked about as a group. Like, I don't know if there's more to the rule than that, but I know that's part of it. If you have not come upon your first ball yet. There may be some intent in there, which I'm still not clear about. But anyway, so we make the decision, like, play this first ball out, but also play your third tee ball. Play them both out and, make 2 scores, and we'll clear it up in the clubhouse. So he ends up making a par plus the 4 penalty shots with his third tee shot. So he makes a 9 on that ball, but he makes a birdie 4 with his first tee shot. And Corey Reigard is his cousin, and he's like, he works for Gap, or we're used to, and like he's pretty up on the rules and all that stuff. So he like sends him a message, and he's like, hey, we need to talk about this when I get in. So I went into the clubhouse then, and they were already mid-conversation, but so I didn't catch the whole conversation, but Corey basically said, like, once you couldn't find that first ball, so you hit the provisional off the tee, but once you couldn't find either of them and went back to hit, you can't play that first ball anymore because you've declared it lost. And it doesn't matter that you've come across it. That hurts. If that's true, Ryan was like, we pushed him a little bit on it, but he was pretty sure, and I kind of trust him on it. I'm glad it wasn't me, because I would have been pretty salty about that. And I'm sure he is, but he handled it like a gentleman, Adam. He handled it like a class act, but had to take the 9. And so instead of shooting a 79, or instead of shooting a 78, he shot an 83. As bad as you feel, maybe that would have felt even worse. And before you ask, his first ball must have ran the car path for a while, because it was way up there. And I mean, I guess I was having my own trouble, so I wasn't helping looking. Shame on him and the other 2 guys for not going up far enough to see if they could find it. But can you imagine finding your first ball then, and then being told that you can't use that score?
Yeah, that sucks. That is not great at all. I think the ruling is very clearly correct, as he obviously didn't. It's not just that it's not an intent thing in this case. I think it's he looked for 3 minutes and didn't find a ball, so it's lost. And so he looked for 3 minutes, went back and hit another one. He found the ball after the 3 minutes, so it's dead. But that is not great. I would be pretty livid. I'd be pretty livid. I think I would have found it, though. That's what I think. I think I would have found my ball. Yeah, that stinks. How do you feel going into round 2? I don't know how to describe it. I came in feeling like, so I've been playing really well lately. Came in fairly confident. I have lost some confidence, but I could obviously go shoot a good round this afternoon. But man, I'm just guiding the ball a little bit. I'm not free swinging. I don't know, man. It doesn't matter now. There's no pressure. So did that, took the pressure off of myself. I go shoot 77, 67, and like what am I gonna do? Stinks. I'm not thrilled.
Well, you've probably got about 3 hours to figure out what you're gonna play for. Yeah, we got a round tomorrow. We got the Lanco Open tomorrow, which is going to be, it's not, no, Conestoga is not a hard course, but it's going to play harder, and there's going to be a better field. And so I'm going to try, I'm going to try to maintain the same attitude, same, mantra that I had that led to 16 good holes. I'm going to try to carry that into this afternoon, and I'm going to try to play solid, and then try to carry that into tomorrow as well. What about you? Are you gonna maybe think about today as trying to find something for tomorrow, or maybe do you need to take a mental break for 2 hours and then see where you're at?
Yeah, I mean, most of my discouragement is because this is the tournament I've been looking forward to most of the year, feeling like I could do really well. Maybe even if I played great, win. And so to just throw it away in round one, not even have an out. So Brady Manning shot 63, so I wasn't going to win anyway. But man, the fact that I just am not even in shouting distance of the final group is just, it's rough. It's a tough pill to swallow. So I mean, no, I'm looking forward to tomorrow just as much as before. It's a new opportunity, so that's good, I guess. But what stinks is that I know we'll come out later this week, and I'll play great at Honeybrook again, and it'll actually add salt to the wound. So I've condemned the rest of my year, because every round I play well in at Honeybrook, which there have been so many this year, is just going to remind me that I choked in round one of the club championship.
So what happened in round two? Well, the good news is Adam and I both played better. In fact, I played much better. I birdied 4 and 5 to get myself to 2 under through 5 holes. But then I did give a bunch back as I came back in, but no doubles or worse. I shot a 4 over 74, which was by far my best competitive round to date. Adam shot a 75, 3 better than the day before, but neither of us were within a mile of the winner. Jake Rotelli had shot a 65 on day 1, which left him 2 behind Brady Manning, whose day 1 63 was only 1 shot off the course record. On day 2, Brady played okay, carding a 2 over 72, but it was Jake's turn to take it low. He came to 18T 7 under for his round, and in firm control of the championship. Unfortunately, a slightly blocked drive kept him from making birdie and tying the course record, but his 63 got him in at 12 under for the club championship, a full 7 shots ahead of Brady, whose 5 under would have won it any other year. Jake is one of my players on the college golf team I'm an assistant coach for, and he's such a good kid. I was so happy for him, and for Brady too. They both played incredible golf. But back to Adam and I. We caught up later that Sunday night to process everything ahead of our Lanco Open event on Monday.
Hello. I felt like I did not recognize enough. You shot a 74 in the club championship. It's really good. It's really solid. I hope you feel good about it. Obviously, yesterday, when you were one weird hole away from 78, 74. You just said yesterday. You're like, I'd love to be someone who shoots 78 in club championships. It's like, that's a good score. And so, yeah, I was happy for you. And just felt like I didn't recognize it enough. So, way to go. Way to go. We have another day of competition tomorrow. That is insane to me right now. I love it. Even though it feels, right now, I don't feel super confident right now, but whatever. Played fine today. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. You just never know. Especially when you're playing a lot. Something could just click tomorrow and go shoot even. It's not gonna win anything, but I just can't believe that 2 people shot 63 this weekend. 63. It's nuts. if I had known that 5 under would have been a distant second, that I could have shot 63-72 and lost by 7, I would have been freer swinging from the beginning. But my game was not there. My game was not there this weekend. And that's unfortunate. I don't know what will happen even on a day like tomorrow. We'll see. I don't know, man. I need to do something different. And I understand I'm not hanging a ton on this. I'm not. It's 1 2-day stretch of golf. And I've probably this year a bunch of times shot, mid 70s. But what is the physical difference between Jake and I that I lose by that many shots to him? I lost by, 26, 27 shots to this guy. And it's like, that's great. I mean, because he shot an unbelievable number. But still, why can't I post a respectable score? Why can't I consistently be in the mix? This is a dumb thing to say, maybe. I feel like it is more physical than it is mental. In the sense that actually, I felt like I grinded my butt off for 78, 75. I barely missed a putt inside 10 feet for 36 holes. Had a couple bad chips that I wish I had back, but chipped really well overall. So like with a couple really notable exceptions. Tee to green for these 36 holes, I was lost. And that's not to say I actually didn't hit almost any horrible shots. None of them were great. I did not hit an iron inside 10 feet for 36 holes. I hit a few. I hit some good drives, but I hit some bad drives, and I can't imagine what his irons and wedges must be right now. And my wedges have been there before. My irons have never been there. And I'm just like, I want to know. I want to do it. I don't think I can do. He's younger than me. I'm not saying I want to be what he was this week, but I'm like, there's something missing, and I don't know what it is, and I think I'm capable of getting there.
Yeah, it would be interesting to see actual strokes gain data where you could literally quantify where the 27 strokes or whatever was he 12 under and you were 14, 12, 14, 26, whatever it is. You could actually quantify it. And you could see. And my guess, just from almost no data, is probably iron play. That is one thing. I mean, even as I was recounting your 73 in Game 2 of the World Series, just the putts that you made over and over again, they were hurtful to me, having to relive them. Even some, like the beginning of the match, like you hit like a 12-footer on 3 to make par and have the hole. You've been putting really well. I don't think that's where you're losing a ton. And I mean, very anecdotal again, but when I drove down today, they were on 17 green, and I was talking to his dad, and he's like, yeah, Jake has a birdie putt here. If he makes it, he goes to 7 under on the day. And I'm thinking, okay, well, he might not make it. I mean, the tees were up today, but it was still playing whatever it was playing, 165 maybe. And then Jake goes to putt it, and like I'm expecting this, 10-foot putt, 12-foot putt. It was like a 3-foot putt. I was like, holy crap, he hit that close. And to birdie like 4 of the first 5 holes, like, I mean, that's really the thing, especially at a course like Honeybrook. where you can spray it a little bit off the tee. If you're going to make birdies, you have to have an incredibly hot putter, or you have to just be hitting darts in there, or a little bit of both, I guess. But that would be my guess. All right, so I'll spare you most of the rest of that late night discussion we had, but as you could hear in Adam's voice, he was doing a little bit of soul searching that night. On the one hand, he felt like his choke in round one of the club championship, as he called it, was physical, not mental. On the other hand, he admitted that after his first 11 holes that he was feeling more nerves than normal and was not swinging freely. The truth is, it's probably a little bit of both, but I do think the one thing Adam needs is exactly what he said in a previous clip. I think he needs more data on exactly where he's losing strokes. I've got a hunch, and he does too, but data beats hunches every day. As for me, here's a quick clip of me describing the mantra I had during the club championship that was really, really effective. My mantra for this weekend, which definitely worked, was nobody... It's not even that funny. It's late. Nobody cares. I just kept telling myself this. Nobody cares less about how they finish in this club championship than you. But nobody is going to be more focused than you on every shot. And it was a good headspace for me. And what I mean by nobody cares less about club championship, like, obviously I wanted to play well and all that, but like, I was trying to get rid of the fear of, where are you going to be on the leaderboard? Nobody cares. Like, none of the other members are like, let's see where Bryan Lane finished. Nobody cares. And even if anyone cared, they would look and then they would forget it 10 seconds later. We've talked about this stuff before. And like, even with, the contest we had and people guessing my scores online, like, for a moment I was like, I don't know if I like this. I don't want to read all these predictions and what people think of me, and what if I don't live up to them, and then I was just kind of like, nah, you know what? It's not that big of a deal. And even in like the grand scheme of my life, it's just not that big of a deal. And so I just need to constantly remind myself of that. But at the same time, I want to be focused and present, and like we talked about before, like, we have all the shots. Like, if I really focus here and apply myself, there's a decent chance I can hit a decent shot. So that was my mantra for 2 days, was nobody cares less about this club championship standings than you do. But nobody's going to be more focused. And so anyway, I bring that up because I want to tell you that. And it's kind of funny. But I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to try this tomorrow too. But it's a little bit different because instead of like knowing I'll finish in the middle of the pack in a club championship of people that I know, this is, arguably a tougher field. And there's a very real chance of me being close to the bottom of the leaderboard. Now, if I play like I did today, that's not going to be the case. But I'm gonna try that mantra again tomorrow, because at the end of the day, like, if I go out there and shoot an 86 and I'm third to last, or I shoot an 89 and I'm last, like, I'm not going to like that, and it's going to be awful. But like, I'll get over it pretty quick. And there's plenty of things that I care about more. So trying to remind myself of that will hopefully keep me a little bit freed up, but then also staying focused as well. So that was my headspace for the club championship, and I was going to do my best to bring that into the Lanco Open the next day, which we were playing in thanks to Tony Hayden and Expert Tree Service and Science. My tee time was over an hour before Adam's, and as I was getting ready to hit my first drive at Conestoga, Adam checked in on his way to the course.
Bryan, welcome to day 3 of Golfapalooza 2024. 3 days you'll forget for the rest of your life. Yeah, I'm driving out to Conestoga. A little further drive for me than you, I believe. It's about an hour, so I'm going to get there probably 45 minutes early. Hit some balls, try to find a little something. I think last night I was a little bit down about everything, and I'm like, you know what? Today I'm glad that we've got a tournament today. I'm glad that I can get my hopes up and then disappoint myself, you, and my family, you know, right on the heels of my club championship disappointment. But you know what? I've played a lot of random good golf rounds when I didn't expect to play well. And that's what I expect today. I expect to not play well, and therefore, I expect to play well. So, hope you are doing well this morning. I hope you're feeling good for your 10:50 tee time. Kind of weird, you teeing off an hour before me, and I might not see it. Because I will be getting there about when you are teeing off. But, yeah, play well.
I did play well, sort of. I 3-putted the first green for bogey, but then I made a 30-footer for birdie on 3. Fast forward a few holes, and I just missed a 6-footer on 9 that would have had me turn in 39. But overall, I was happy to put up a 40 on the front. What I wasn't as thrilled about was that the mantra wasn't really working. I don't know how to describe it, but telling myself that no one cared less about the standings, but no one was going to be more focused on every shot at the club championship the 2 days prior, it worked because it was true. I genuinely believed it because, again, it really was true. But it wasn't true at the Lanco Open. I did care about the standings because I was scared about coming in last place in a stacked field. I managed to play okay despite the tension in my swing, at least until hole 10. Here I am describing that to Adam. So hole 10, par 5, they got the tees all the way back. It's already a tough hole. So you're hitting your drive over a creek, and there's a penalty area all along the left, and there's a big tree on the left as well that kind of hangs over. We stop, I go in and get a drink and a sandwich. I've got the chicken salad at Conestoga before. It's very good. When I got it the last time, she turned around, reached in the fridge, and gave it to me. It was already pre-made, and that was great. So I order a Gatorade and a chicken salad, and she rings it up, and then she, doesn't get my chicken salad. I'm like, oh, the chicken salad? She's like, oh, yeah. She's like, hold on, I got to go to the kitchen. So she goes upstairs, and then 2 minutes later, I'm still waiting, and there's no sign of her. And I go over to the window, and I look, and one of my guys is teeing off, and I don't even know if the other guy has already teed off. And I'm like, what is going on? You know, I don't want to be holding up this group because of this stupid chicken salad sandwich. So I wait another 45 seconds, and I'm like, this is ridiculous. So I go outside. They're waiting for me to tee off at this point. I'm like, hey, I tell them what happened with the chicken salad. I grab my driver. I go up there, obviously a little rushed. And my reliable cut wasn't always cutting today. I had doubled hole 7 maybe. I think I doubled 7 because my cut didn't cut and I drove it left right directly into a pine tree. Happened again on this hole. I flushed it, but it just didn't cut. It went straight left. So it went into the penalty area. I'm like, oh, great. So then I go in. She has my chicken salad finally. Grab the chicken salad. Go down. Go over to the penalty area where I'm going to drop, some 225 yards from the tee box. Again, this is a par 5. I take my drop. I have a hybrid in my hand. I'm not sure if it's the right club to hit because I'm kind of going over a small tree and it's sort of a blind shot from where I'm at to get down the fairway. But if I hit this on the right line, this is going to get down there far. But if I block this a little bit right, it's going to kind of get up into the tree line. I'm like, no, I'm going to hit the hybrid. So I'm setting up over it to hit it. And right before I pull it back, one of my playing partners is like, Bryan, hold on. and here the group in front of us, which, they had ample time to play the hole, but apparently somebody was having trouble on the hole because all of a sudden they were like only 100 yards in front of us. So somebody was having issues there, and we assumed they were on the green, but they weren't. So now I have to wait, and I'm waiting for like a minute, and now I'm questioning the hybrid in my hand. I'm like, maybe this hybrid's the wrong call. Maybe I just need to hit something less down. So I end up putting the hybrid back. I grab a 6-iron, and then I hit the 6-iron. I hit it good, but I kind of take too conservative of a line, and it sort of crosses the fairway, runs up this side hill up near like the bottom of a tree, and then comes back down a little, but not all the way down. So now I'm 1 in, 2 out, 3 there. So my fourth shot, I have the ball above my feet, and I'm maybe 125 yards from the green. I'm going to try to hit a punchy 9-iron at the green, but the ball is pretty far above my feet. It's a hook lie if there ever was one. So I try to compensate for the hook lie, and it's not a good punch shot. I hit it fairly flush, but I overcompensate, and instead of kind of going left toward the green, it kind of goes straight and maybe even a little bit right. It goes right for these 2 trees that are 40 yards in front of me, 50 yards in front of me. I can't tell if it hits the trees or not. I don't hear a loud crack, but I think I hear something. And I'm like, okay, well, if that hit the tree, it's going to be right around the tree. If not, there's like all open field behind where the ball was going to go. I don't know if you remember when you're standing on 9 tee box, kind of behind you there is it's just an open field with short-cut grass. In fact, there's a bunch of really small mushrooms there that all look like golf balls. And you can see them because the grass is not tall at all. If a golf ball is there, you would think you would find it. And I think you can tell where I'm going with this. So I go up to where, and I actually had a marshal who was with us at that time. He saw the shot. We go up there, and the ball is not where we think it's going to be. So like, that's weird. So now we're checking, maybe it like somehow caught this part of the cart path. Did it go over here? Did it go over here? We're all looking in this field. There's like a dozen white mushrooms that you think is a ball and is not. Now I'm starting to get worried. Like, this ball had to be here. Meanwhile, there's 3 guys just standing on 9 tee box, 20 yards from this tree where my ball may have hit. And we say to them, did you guys hear a ball hit this tree? And they go, well, no, but we did hear a thump. And I'm like, what the heck does that mean? No, it didn't hit the tree, but you heard a thump? What does that mean? So now I don't know if the ball hit the tree and ricocheted off. I don't know where the ball is. I don't know where to look. It's pretty much been 3 minutes at this point, probably. So I do like one more sweep around with the golf cart, and the marshal's like, yeah, you're going to have to go back and drop. And so, sorry, that took so long to describe, but I have to go back. I have to place the ball. I have to excuse myself with the group behind us playing the hole, place a ball on this hanging lie on the side hill, and try to finish out the hole. And at this point, my fears are being realized, because I felt like if I played my game, if I focused, if I gave full attention to every shot, like I told myself, like, you're probably gonna shoot 84 or better if you do that. Like, you have enough game to do that. And so now suddenly I'm like, this number is going to be enormous that I'm going to make on this hole. I don't even know what it is. But now there's tension in my swing. I hit the punch shot again. I don't hit it great. It doesn't even get to the green. I hit like a pitch shot on the green, and that's not amazing either. And I can't hit the putt, so I end up 2-putting. And yeah, take a 10. Good old 10 rears its head again in Bag Shatter Season 2. So that was tough, because now I have more tension. And I wish I didn't, but now I do, because now I'm like, okay, what possible score is in play here? On the next hole, I miss a 5-footer for par, so I go and get in for bogey. Long story short, I ended up playing a game. Long story long. I ended up playing a game in my head against my competitors, trying to beat them on the back, not including the 10. It didn't work in that I didn't beat them on the back. They both had pretty good backs, but it did work in that it kind of refocused me. I threw a couple pars in there. Yeah, I think I finished only actually with 2 pars in my last 6 holes, which I shot a 47 on the back. So 40-47 for an 87. Didn't feel great. Didn't feel great. But if I find that punch out and I hit it on the green and 2-putt, it's an 84. But also there's probably less tension and I maybe shoot better. That's what I'm trying to tell myself. That's the story of my round. Shot an 87 with a 10. Tell me about your round.
Less interesting than yours. It was nothing that exciting, but it had its moments. After the disappointing club championship rounds, I definitely had a little bit of a weird mindset going in. I didn't feel confident in anything. And so I get up on the first tee after spraying my driver a good bit at the club championship, and I hit one dead right through the trees, through like a tree that's like right there. So we're not sure we're going to find this ball. I did not hit a provisional, but we find it down in another fairway. I then hook that one back over behind a tree, hit a great pitch. I think you may have seen the pitch. I saw you nearby. And then almost make birdie somehow because it's a long par 5. Wind up making par on the first hole. I'm like, okay. Hole 2, long uphill par 3. Hook a 4-iron into a bunker. Make a great up and down for par. On the third hole, I hit a drive that winds up beyond the green, which was crazy to me. We didn't know at all that on this hole you could actually like get down green side. So I was like right and long of the green. I pitched up to like 12 feet, just missed the birdie putt, hit a great drive on 4, knock my pitch up to a foot, tap in for birdie. I go to 1 under through 4. Okay, that's interesting. So take a little peek at the leaderboard. I'm 1 off the lead through 4. Not bad. And I think I can say, without spoiling anything, the leaders finished at 2 under. So, 1 under through 2. If I could have maintained it there, we were in the ballpark. I hit a tee shot on a par 3 just short right on 5. Pitched up to like 4 feet, lipped out the par putt. Very frustrating. Very frustrating. So right back to even. Hit a great drive on 6. Hit a wedge shot. I couldn't really tell. I don't know this course that well. I thought I hit a good shot. I was at the very front of a green in a long 2-tiered green. So I had probably 70 feet up a tier. And I ran it by. I actually had a chance for a second. And then ran it by like 3 feet above the hole. Treacherous, swinging downhill putt. I touched the ball. And it missed low and ran 5 feet by. Made the 5-footer for a 3-putt bogey. 1 over. Make a couple pars on the 8th hole. Drivable par 4. I come up just short of the green. Hit a mediocre pitch to like 20 feet. It was a really bad pitch. And make the 20-footer for birdie to go back to even through 8 holes. Leaders at that point are 1 under. 1 under. I'm 1 off the lead. Now, hole 9 is maybe the dumbest hole in Pennsylvania. And I knew that going in. The one other time I played this course, it was a little downwind and I hit driver across the creek. So it's a creek that is like at 260. So if you lay short of it, you're going to have 200-ish yards in So I already know it's a dumb hole, but we were playing it straight into the wind, so I could not drive this creek. And then one of my playing partners loved my playing partners. Not going to trash talk my playing partners at all. But wow. So at first they said, so there's a tree out in the middle of the fairway, and they said at first, one of them said, hey, like, I think the play here is to hit it right at the tree and just hope you don't get unlucky and get blocked out. That was true. If I'd hit it right at the tree, we would have been fine. There's also tons of room right I didn't realize about, and it actually shortens the hole a little bit. And then the other guy was like, oh, no. And he's like, I've played here quite a bit. The target is definitely left of the tree. Definitely left. And, you know, it's at least like 270 down to the creek, blah, blah, blah. So I just take his word as bond. I pull a hybrid and I aim left of the tree. I pull my hybrid 5 yards. So a little bit of a pull, so it might go a little longer. But everyone's like, that's perfect. Great shot. We get down there, and there's a spotter down there, and this woman says to me, oh yeah, your ball took one hop right into the creek. And I'm just in a state of shock. I have to drop in heavy rough from 210. And I pull a 4-iron, you know, kind of gets caught up in the rough, pull it low left, and it just, I made double. You know what? I don't even need to go through shot by shot. I'm getting caught up in the feels of this as I talk about it. So pull it low left, knock it on, 2-putt, double bogey. I go from even to 2 over suddenly on hole 9 on bad advice. It hurt. I'm still angry about it, if I'm being honest with you. I just thought I'm even par. I am 1 off the lead. I think I hit a perfect shot. I know this is a tough hole. I'm just trying to make a par, and I wind up with a double. 10 was not as adventurous for me as it was for you. Tapped in for par. And then from there, I just started bleeding a little bit, and it was nothing awful. I didn't do anything terrible. So I'm 2 over through 10.
We'll skip ahead a little bit here as Adam rides the bogey train.
3-putt for bogey, so that's 4 bogeys in a row. Par to par 3. Hit a sloppy pitch on the next one for another bogey. So that's 5 bogeys. I am suddenly 7 over par. I horseshoe lip out a birdie on 17. I hit a great drive on 18 to like 20 yards from the green. Hit a really bad pitch. Didn't get on the green from 20 yards. From 20 yards, Bryan. Then almost holed my next chip shot and tapped in for par. 77. 77 was good for T25. I went 37-40. And man, I can't actually be that mad at the score. It was fine. But the back 9 just felt a little exposing. My irons were bad. I just wasn't getting up and down. I got up and down a bunch of times on the front 9, and just on the back, everything that could go wrong did to some extent, because I didn't play that bad. I was driving the ball great. I didn't hit any terrible shots. My only double on the day was that one where I thought I hit a perfect tee shot and I was in a creek. Overall, I think it was a good competitive round. But I really was 1 off the lead through 8, and then finished 9 shots out of a playoff. It wasn't good. That stretch was bad, and nothing alarming, nothing scary, but man, I just kind of crapped it away and wound up not middle of the pack. I finished 25th out of 70, but a real mix of emotions. It felt good to actually. I felt like I was hanging for a minute. I texted you mid-round and I said, "Hey, I might screw around and make a little run at this thing," and then played the next 6 holes at 6 over, and that stinks. I don't love that. But I played a lot better than the club championship. I think it was a step forward. Now, Lanco Mid-Am next Saturday. So we'll see how that goes.
The Lanco Mid-Am is one of a handful of individual tournaments that Adam will be tackling here at the end of the summer on his own. He's also got a US Mid-Am qualifier at Wyncote and the Kimberton Club Championship that he's a part of. I'm going to spend the next month playing with friends, getting to know the course at my new club a little better, and trying to figure out how to avoid another dead fly analogy whenever we get around to playing World Series Game 3. As for the fall, the return of cooler weather will also bring back our last 3 team events, including the Honeybrook Member, a Philly Publinks 2-man scramble at Honeybrook, and the Chasing Scratch Velcrin Invitational in North Carolina. Are we going to try to get more data on exactly where the holes in our games are? Will all of these competitive reps make a difference the next time we're in the hunt? And is it possible that one of us can hang another 10 on the card for the 3rd time this season? Gosh, I hope not. The days are getting shorter, but there is still a lot of golf to be played. And we'll talk more about it in episode 17. Catch you then. Thanks so much for checking out the Bag Chatter podcast. Hope you enjoyed the episode, and you already know how to subscribe to podcasts, so I'm not going to waste your time. You can find us on all the socials at Bag Chatter Golf or Bryan Lane Golf, and you can check out everything we have going on at bagchattergolf.com. If you want more content from me and Adam, check out the Bag Chatter Deli. That is our Patreon, where we only serve the choicest portions of 4-ball ham and the leanest cuts of bone meat. For $5 a month, you get to support the pod, and you get a weekly episode of our Friday supporter-only podcast, Cold Cuts, Hot Takes. You can find that at patreon.com/bagchattergolf. You guys are the best. Thanks so much for listening.